Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 18 of Sharing My Life. And today I want to talk about the art of just being with people. And what I mean by that is being with people in my life just the way they are, and not just the way I want them to be. And that's also at the level of thought, like not even thinking that they should be a different way to who they are. Because I really believe that we communicate faster via thoughts than we do via our words even. So, when I was about 14, back in India, I started on a self-development journey. I started reading the Reader's Digest, and I never stopped doing self-development. And I became this self-development junkie, so you can say. And so as a result of that, I also became quite preachy. And if you ask my kids or my siblings or close friends of mine and family and friends, they'll definitely give me a tick, 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 like 100 out of 100 for Caro being a preacher. And I have to say that that hasn't always worked for me in building close relationships, as you might imagine. And where I'm at in my life right now, I really want to surround myself with beautiful relationships, because I really believe that the quality of my life is actually determined by the quality of my relationships. In fact, it's directly proportionate to the quality of my relationships. The way I see building better relationships with the people in my life is to just be with them wherever they are at, just the way they are, not how I want them to be or my views of how they should or shouldn't be, And the more I'm practicing this, like I've started practicing this in the past 6 to 8 months, being with people just the way they are, the more I'm practicing it, the more I'm realizing how much I actually don't do it. How much I come into a conversation with my views of how a certain person is or isn't. And really what I want to do is be with them, not from what I know about them, but from a place of what I actually don't know about them. So come from a place of curiosity rather than, and discover who they are. I recently saw this really lovely quote on Facebook. I think it came up and it said, in every person you know, there is a person you don't know. And I absolutely love that. So, and that's so true. We only know this much of every human being, of every person that we even know. So where I'm at right now is just be with people from that place of not knowing who they are, from a place of curiosity and finding out what's going on for them. Anyway, I came back, and like I said, the more I practice, I'm realizing that I actually don't do it. I came back last week from the US, and as I walked into my house, my son Damien, who's 16, 6 feet tall, before I left, he told me that he was going to color his hair. And I said, okay, what color are you going to do it? He said, I'm just a little bit lighter than yours. I color my hair. And I said, okay, just a little bit lighter? And he said, yeah, a little bit lighter. Well, when I walked into the house, I see this, more closer to golden than light brown. So I freaked out, and I just wrote him the riot act. And for about 15 minutes, literally, I was telling him how, it didn't suit him. And I lost it. I was really not very good with him. And the poor kid, I realized after I had ranted and raved on that I had basically my first 15 minutes of not being with him for 12 days. I had been out of the country. I spent telling him how his hair should be when it's his hair. Instead of asking him how his school was, what was happening for him in school, what was he, how did he end up making his color like that? No, I was imposing my views of how his hair should be. And I lost 15 minutes of beautiful time with my son. Of course, I apologized to him the next day, and I, had a lovely conversation with him, and I'm okay with it now, though I have to say I don't quite like the color of his hair, and he knows I don't, but I'm okay with it. On the flip side, when I was about 22, and I know the exact age, it was 1987, was when I was actually able to be with someone, and I'm going to share that story with you just to give you a contrast of, in our lives, we can be and we're not being with people. So for me, I want to endeavor to actually be with people wherever they're at more now. So this was back in 1987, and it was to do with my mom. And my mom, by the way, I've got her permission to share this story with you because my mom was a very highly accomplished woman. She worked for an international bank, and she also was very well known in her music circles. She was an opera singer. And she has allowed me to share this story with you. She'll be making her quite vulnerable. And so I really want to acknowledge her for that, because she's sharing her vulnerability. Anyway, I was 22, 1987. I was 1 year before I was leaving a few months actually before I was leaving to get married and come here to Australia. And I wanted to spend some time with my mom. So I knocked on her bedroom door and I said, Mom, can I spend some time with you? And she was working on a script. She was sitting on her bed and she was working on a script, some musical that she was directing at the time. And she said, hang on a second, I'll be with you in 10 minutes. Just give me 10 minutes. So I said, all right. So I walked into the room and I went and sat on the other side of my mom's bed. There was my dad's chair. He used to sit on the chair. By the way, there was no one in the house at the time. My brother was in Delhi working. My sister was in the Philippines studying music. And my dad was in the Gulf. So it was just mom and me at home. So I'm sitting on my dad's side of the bed and waited for about 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, I said to Mom, Mom, have you finished yet? And she says, no, just give me a few more minutes. Anyway, by that time I realized, it's going to be a little while. So I grabbed a piece of paper and pencil and I started to draw my mom in profile. And I drew a really good picture of her. When I finished it, I'm just looking at it and I thought, that looks like a Picasso. Like I was so excited because I had done an awesome job of my mom. So I ran around the other side of the bed and I kind of stuck it right underneath her nose so she would see it on top of her work. And she takes it out of my hand and she looks at it like that through her glasses and she says, that's not me. And then she like burst out laughing because she realized it was her. And she said it was a beautiful drawing and whatever. And then a few minutes later, I was gone and she went back to her work basically. Anyway, she kept the drawing with her. Fast forward about, this rain is really heavy here. Fast forward about 28 years later, my mom has a stroke in 2014. And I went to India, to spend time with her, be with her after her stroke. And as I walked into her bedroom, hanging on the wall behind her bed was that exact same drawing. It was a little bit tattered, but this time it was framed. And she saw me looking at it and she says, do you remember that drawing? And I said, yes, Mom, I do. And guess what? This time I've got 3 whole weeks to just be with you. And I was just able to be with my mom. She was, her right side was paralyzed. She was lying in the bed there and I just got to be with her just the way she was. And I'm sharing this, by the way, I've got the painting over here. Let me show you the drawing. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it. That's my mom there. And down the bottom there, I wrote, couldn't get her attention, so I decided to draw Mom. She was too engrossed in her creative work. And that was 1987. So she gave me that drawing, left it with me. So basically what I wanted to say was, to just be with people just the way they are. I wasn't upset that I couldn't spend time with my mom back in 1987. And I got to spend time with her in 2014. And that's my share for today. Just being with people just the way they are and just the way they aren't. And I have a really lovely quote by Jean Houston, which I'm going to leave you with. And she says, to be fully present with another is to see greatness. And I love that, just being with people just the way they are. Easier said than done, but I'm practicing that now. So let's say hello to everyone here. There's Andira and Ashley. Hey, Ramnika and Susan. Oh, that's my sister-in-law. She was here with me and we were just talking about this topic the other day. So happy to see you. And Sophia, hello, my darling Sophia. She's my biggest champion. And Anne, Marianne, Mala, I love you. And Deirdre, my sister, and Dwayne. Wow, lots of lovely people over here. I'm so excited to see you all. And many of you would recognize everything that I've said, especially the people who have grown up, especially my sister-in-law, Ramnika. She knows about me being a preacher. So does my sister. They're all here listening. Thank you for being here and see you next week. Bye.